Just wanted to talk about medications. A lot of people with Parkinson's are, of course, on different medications for different reasons, and it's often difficult to avoid being on several medications. For reasons unbeknownst to me, they sometimes make these medications way too big, horse pills, way too large, or non coded, not easy to swallow tablets. I was never sure why they didn't just make like those multivitamins or those calcium pills. Why don't you just make them smaller and say take two? But anyway, just a pet peeve. So, if swallowing medications, and that's often a problem for people because they're difficult to coordinate, you can always ask your pharmacist or doctor if the medication comes in an alternate form, a syrup or a smaller coated tablet, or if it's crushable or cuttable. Some meds are not crushable, or you're not able to cut them in half because they are what's called extended release. The capsule or the tablet has to stay in its whole form because it gradually releases the medication in the stomach over several hours. So you never want to crush or cut a medication unless you've checked with your doctor or your pharmacist to make sure that that can be crushed or cut. Probably one of the most difficult things to do is swallow a pill with water, which is how we typically take pills. Anything that has a mixed texture, and by a mixed texture, I mean a liquid component and a solid component to it. So think of chicken noodle soup. It's got noodles and then it's got liquid, or fruit cocktail with syrup, or a dry cereal with milk. You're talking about a food that has a liquid and a solid component. Those are always more challenging to manage if you have any sort of discoordination, weakness, reduced movement of the mouth and throat muscles, because now you're asking your mouth to manage two different textures at once. So if you think about putting a spoonful of chicken noodle soup in your mouth, so now your mouth has to somehow form and control all the solid bits into one cohesive bolus, while not letting the liquid component spill prematurely back into your throat or out the front of your mouth. That is a really high level task. And I'm sure you've noticed if you've ever had like juicy watermelon that has really a lot of liquid in it, or something that has a mixed texture, and you kind of do a little cough because it's really hard to control two textures in your mouth at once. Pills are two texture when you take them with water. You're asking your mouth to manage a solid, a pill, control that, manipulate it, transfer it, and control a liquid, which doesn't hold its shape. It goes where it wants to go, and it moves fast because it's so thin. So if you're having trouble with that, one thing to try is just do one at a time and try coating them in just some applesauce or pudding, something not too thick. If it's, I say pudding, but maybe not too thick, more of a yogurt texture, as these are more cohesive. They're not going to run as quickly. They move more slowly in the mouth, and they will actually help to coat the pill and help to get it down. And then if you have to crush your medication, it can help to mask that yucky taste that comes from crushing medications. After you've swallowed them, you always want to make sure that there isn't anything stuck in the pockets. After you've swallowed something with yogurt or applesauce, then you can take little sips of water, because now you only have one texture in your mouth. You're just chasing it with little sips of water. So if you're having trouble with pills and water, give that a try. You can also do a slight chin tuck down, and this goes with any mixed texture. If you put something in your mouth that's has liquid and solid, if your head is slightly, and I don't mean like this, that's a different posture for a different reason, but just slightly looking down, gravity, if you have good lip control, will allow you to keep it in the front of your mouth, and it's not as likely to spill down the back as you are in this position, because gravity will help to keep it at the front. The worst that would happen is you might have a little spillage from the front, which is not going to hurt you. It just puts a stain on your shirt. Okay.